Hey, survivors, welcome to the channel. We're going to talk about the Valentine's Day Hoover. Is our narcissist going to come back? What does it mean if they don't? What are we feeling? Different emotions we might be going through, struggling with. And oh gosh, it was a long day today. um, so also the new supply, what's going on with them. So I see somebody just popped in to say hello. Good to have you guys on the channel. And it is February 13th. Hope you guys are having a great day. And what does it mean at the narcissist Hoovers? Are they coming back for true love? It's a prime opportunity for them to reach out. It gives them an excuse. And also, sometimes, too, they might want to be checking up on you. Narcissists also love to destroy the beginnings of a new relationship for you, or even if you have a long term relationship, they want what they want. And that's what it comes down to. And the way they process things is a lot different. And people with mental illness have different things going on in their brain. And as we've endured some narcissistic abuse, it changes us. So we have to cognitively work on rewiring our brain, and that can be done, but it can be a painful process. The brain fog we go through. We're confused on why we're confused. We're trying to figure things out, ask the right kind of questions. The narcissist doesn't answer questions, so it just makes it worse. So if the narcissist does reach out to you, see, it's easier to block them. That keeps you safe. But if you do interact with them, think about yourself before you even accept a Hoover. Why are you missing this person? Are you missing the fantasy? How did they really treat you? The way that they communicated, because if there's no communication, if there's no change, the relationship is doomed anyways. So the narcissist has a certain type of pattern that they use that will always lead to uh, confusion and doubt, self-esteem issues. And when you're told something over and over again, or when you feel that you're not enough to communicate with or to text you back, things like that, it changes our brain and we start believing it. And it could be subconscious sometimes too. So if they reach out, if they apologize, is it a true heartfelt apology? What have they done in their lives to change? And it's really hard with the narcissist to know what the truth is. They're master manipulators, and they have such a way of explaining things with the word salad that in the end we end up confused. We turn into the ones that are apologizing when things were done wrong against us. And sometimes we have to be careful with the reactive abuse that we might feel it was all our fault. So we have to really look, where does all this start? Who is the instigator? We can handle things differently, but after such a long period of time, we go into survival mode too. And that's a state of mind where it's really hard to handle things the right way. And we start pulling from our childhood or reacting in ways that isn't who we are. So we start feeling like we're this different person. And sometimes that can cause dissociation, um, like self guilt. We have remorse. So we feel really remorseful. But, you know, we have to look at our self-esteem. Why are we wanting this person back? And what does it mean if they don't Hoover? Does that mean that we aren't worth it? We have to realize that the narcissist only comes back for supply, and they just don't have the connection. They don't have the emotional bond. They can be cordial, friendly, outgoing, but the connection's missing. So they're not going to go out of their way for a person consistently for the rest of their life. They'll do it when it suits them. So it has nothing to do with you. And it's really interesting how somebody treats you is not necessarily a reflection of you. It's a reflection of them. And they truly loved you, they would have sat down and talked to you. They would have tried to understand you. And, um, you know, there's two perspectives in any relationship, and the narcissist is only concerned with their perspective, and they don't understand our perspective. So when they do try, um, it's so foreign to them that they don't comprehend it. And that's because of that lack of empathy. So there are varying degrees of narcissism because of that, that some can connect in some ways, but with that childlike behavior, they're going to lash out, they're going to lie. And I see it so much with the children at school, which helps to understand the emotional state, because trauma that is early on, adverse childhood experiences, ACE, affects you often lifelong. And, you know, um, some people are trying to search, is it evil? And I'd like you guys to take a step back. Is it demonic? Those kind of things. We know it's toxic. And that's what we have to look at. It's a toxic relationship. And if we've tried to change, um, to accommodate, we are two different people, and with the Valentine Hoover coming up, it's an excuse. It's an excuse. It's an opportunity. Um, did they reach out 2 days ago? Is it where they feel that they can love bomb you, that they give you an extravagant gift, or a bribe for a beautiful dinner? And, narcissists have a different way of loving. And it's draining. It's draining. It is childlike. There's kids at school that are wonderful. There's other kids that are so needy that it gets exhausting. And, you know, um, when you're dealing with a grown person trying to hold down the fort, you're supposed to lift each other up. You're supposed to support each other. It's an adult relationship. And it's sad how the discard continues, that they will idealize you when they're in a state of need, because you might be the top supply for sex or status or whatever. But when there's a higher supply, maybe somebody's freakier, not necessarily better in bed, but just freakier, just some little fetish that either they feel they can't be open with. And that's where it's like the communication and the compromise that can hinder or destroy a relationship. And happy Valentine's Day Eve. I see more people are joining. And feel free to ask anything, because there's so much to understand. And by healing, by understanding the things that are going on, can really help us heal. So if you are wondering, if you don't get that Hoover, um, it's it can, it's actually a blessing in disguise, that it gives you almost a clean slate. We do have our trauma that we've been in. So I is that let's see. Oh, I got 2 likes already. Thank you guys. I was going to guess who it is. It's I guess see who it is. I love having you guys here. So let's see who is there. Oh, yay. Um but you guys are so sweet. So let me get back to the chat box. And the the supply seeking that goes on. It is you, John. Was it Mia? Oh, she's not getting notifications. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. I wonder if she just subscribed and didn't hit the notification bell. I think she says she hit it. My goodness, I don't know why. Huh. Well, I'm glad you're here. How's April the hamster doing? John's kind of having a little sick one at home. Little hamster, little fur baby. Dixie's doing good, my dog. Um, and I had to stay after school today for this one child who is becoming more and more aggressive. And um, It's the neurons and the neurotransmitters aren't working correctly, and he starts getting agitated. So we have different things like Velcro under the table, bungee cords for him to fidget with, so, bounce his feet up and down. And why do we need that? How does that work? Um, John says she is really not good, but hanging in there. You gave her a treat. What kind of treat? Just a little hamster treat or like a piece of carrot? I don't know what they get. Calibri, happy Valentine's Day Eve to you guys. Hello, hello. Hi. Good to have you here, Calibri. So, with the brain stuff that's going on, that it's almost like they're going in berserk mode, trying to connect, and the connection is not happening, and it's becoming uncomfortable. So it's like a distraction to, sometimes when we're nervous, we start self-soothing. Little things that we might do. Women will often play with their hair. John says apple slices. Ooh, that's a treat for me too. I love apple slices. And John is saying, "Hey, Calibri." um, so it's a distraction to take away some of the pressure from the brain trying to connect. It gives it something else to connect with. And I don't know that child's diagnoses, but it's starting to get scary. We have to watch our P's and Q's on it. We might go to court over it. And he's becoming more and more aggressive. And sometimes you wish you knew the backstory. I think something happened within the family. I think something with his father, but that's just putting 1 and 2 together to get 4. Pieces are missing. Um, so are you guys, have you guys ever had a holiday Hoover where you weren't talking to your person and then they did Hoover? Because I want to make sure people know that if the Hoover doesn't happen, some of these Hoovers never come. Some of them can be 30 years later. I had a 30-year later Hoover. I'm not necessarily from a narcissist, but somebody struggling with self-esteem and PTSD. And it's a time when emotions and needs can be heightened sometimes. That's why um, John says, "My Hoover didn't happen, thank God." Yes, yes. And what would you guys like for tomorrow? Tomorrow is Valentine's Day. I am having dinner with a friend, but I can be on at probably 7:30 tomorrow evening. Would you guys like to be my date? By the way, the three-wheel skates are looking good. And yeah, John's created some three-wheel kind of tripod skates, but the two wheels in the front with the one in back, just like yeah, my mind was trying to think with high heels how the back can be sometimes a stiletto type. You should do a stiletto. Do heels. I'm more comfortable in heels. Sucks me a 6'1". But I'm more comfortable in heels. I used to teach ballroom dance, uh, and it's just easier for me. But I don't wear them that much because I am so tall. Makes me feel like a freak of nature. Um, but I do like them. I do have them. I just feel so big. John says, "I did post a Valentine's Day short named Happy Valentine's Day 2023." So if you search John Moran, Happy Valentine's Day 2023, you should be able to see a special video he made for all of us. So thank you for that. I'll have to check that out. And I'm still waiting anxiously for my green screen. There's going to be some changes to the channel. I'm always open to suggestions too, but I want to make sure that we cover as much material as possible, and also different types of mental illness, because with the narcissist, they might not be a narcissist. It could be something else. Plus, a lot of personality disorders are comorbid. So bipolar is not a personality disorder, it's a mood disorder. And there are differences. Sometimes they're hard to to see the difference, because even trained professionals often misdiagnosed between bipolar and borderline. And borderline is so similar to narcissistic personality disorder. So thank you for posting that. And tomorrow's going to be a good day. We have to wake up with a positive attitude, make our day the best that it can be, and mindful thinking, taking control over our thoughts. And Calibri saying hi to John. Any drama at the complex? Hopefully, laying low, um, because you had a couple days, right, where they were leaving you alone, Calibri. And John, things settled down at your complex too. So life is ever evolving, and every little everything. Um, Changes. And I wanted to talk about the vibrations on how we can start to heal, how we can find the love of our life. John says, by the way, too, I did notify housing authority and the housing lawyer about my neighbor's actions. Yeah, sometimes we have to be proactive in protecting ourselves. So that's great that you are protecting yourself. Um, you know, uh, John is saying, "Hey, Calibri," with a big old thumbs up. See, that's a nice silent thumbs up. Why can't the kids do that? Debbie, hi, Debbie. I won't get a Hoover, but I don't want one. I'm on an 8-month silent treatment. So the silent treatment, are you saying that your person is giving you the silent treatment for 8 months? Um, because there's gray racking and stonewalling and things like that. So I just want to make sure that we're on the same page with your definition. So if you went no contact, but the narcissist can give us the silent treatment. Often, from our point of view, is when we go no contact, it's not like we're trying to give them a silent treatment. We're trying to protect ourselves. But the narcissist will give us the silent treatment to avoid taking accountability or to punish us. And um, when we go no contact, it's to protect ourselves. They have a different way of thinking in the relationship. It's intermittent and you know um so Debbie, yeah, that's a very healthy attitude. Like, I don't want one, I don't need one, and I'm not going to take it if I get it. So good for you. Cleve says it's a good thing that the wicked witch narc leaves a particular scent, heavy use of cologne, so I know she's around. Oh, but that's kind of nice that you can have that warning sign. Oh gosh. Huh. Very interesting. Debbie says, I can text him, but he has me blocked on everything else. You're a super empath. I've known him 8 years. Oh, goodness. Um, yeah, it's interesting that they will do that. They'll leave that one little avenue for you to still connect with them, but they don't want to show you off to the world. And they don't want to show you off to the world because they're probably hiding something. So, being a super empath, we have to be careful with that. I always believed in unconditional love, but when you give somebody unconditional love, we're not gods and we have needs too. So we have to be careful with being super empaths because we can be too empathetic to where people take advantage of us. And once they start doing that, it starts messing with our mind. Um, so John says the slight raise in the skate's rear wheel is only a half inch, but not much. Oh, so there is a little bit. Okay. That would help. I have high arches. I got Barbie doll feet, and um, that it just is more comfortable. Kalibi says, I've heard that narcs have a particular scent, so I think she's trying to cover up her stench. It's interesting. We do have certain odors. It's interesting. And scents. I'll say scents. I don't want to say odors. Humans have scents. Some people definitely have odors, but um, there are certain scents to us. Sometimes it's from the food that we eat. If you eat too much garlic, you can sweat it out your pores. It's those pheromones. And I wouldn't necessarily say that. There's a particular scent that narcissists have. It could be I did Calibri, I think I know what you're trying to say. There was, and yours might be a little bit different research than what I had, but different kinds of sweating. So if I'm nervous about lying, I will probably sweat. And you smell like gerbils. So the normal person will sweat if they're under pressure. But the narcissist, or especially like a sociopath, things like that, that they don't get nervous like that because they don't have the empathy. They're like, whatever, they're not gonna know and whatever. Um, so I don't know if they would smell fresher. But because of the body's response to verbalizations, I don't know. That would make sense though. Um, and we have bacteria on us and we actually glow in the dark. We have bioluminescence. We just can't see it. So, um, very interesting. I don't know. Like it's almost like they're not middle ground. Either they're like super clean or super not. Um, Kalibi says she's kind of a heavy woman. Anyways, she likes her candies. Sometimes people will have certain odors because of the folds in their skins. They might get yeast infections or different kinds of things under the folds of their skin. Women too, with our chests, not mine, but sometimes underneath. You gotta be careful on that kind of stuff too. Um, Very interesting. Debbie says, but he will text me on a phone app. Oh, a phone app number, not just a phone number. Oh, he's shady. And I know it's him. I called him out and called him a covert narcissist. And covert, think of covered up, secretive. You called him a covert narcissist. Bad move, but I couldn't hold myself back. Yeah, because a lot of times too, they will either come back with you're the narcissist, or at least no, I'm not. Um, Black lights can show their effect. You're right, they can. So if you think you have flecks on you, it might be your bacteria. um, I have a black light. I want to do a black light video. Well, how did he respond to that, Debbie, when you called him that? Because the narcissists don't want to self-reflect, so they're never going to believe that, or they're never going to admit to being a narcissist. There are self-aware narcissists that eventually are like, yeah, I know. That they'll start to see something will click, like, yeah, I guess I do that. And Kalibi says, I think and feel that these narcs feel that I could see through them, but I am not giving them the benefit. And they might silent treatment. Okay, silent treatment. Um, and when you say you could see through them, uh, I, I think you mean not that they're an empty soul. I think what you're saying is seeing through their tricks. Just like the kids at school, that one little boy, how we had that little eye contact thing. He's I am scared for when he grows up. He's so wild. He's got a sweetness to him too, just like narcissists have sweetnesses to them too. That love bomb and stuff. You can see through the masks. Okay. Yeah, because there's times after a while we see these red flags. We're like, "Are you kidding me?" Or the word salad. "How's your day going today?" "Well, the sun is shining," and you're like, "No, how are you feeling today?" "The sun is shining, and I have to go to work today." And you're like, "How are you doing?" Like, Lily is here. We got Debbie in here, and Calibri and John, and hopefully some others. So good to have you here. Hopefully, Dog Defender is feeling better today. I don't know, I was thinking about going to the ER. She was in the ER and against medical advice, AMA. She went home and might be back in the ER, possibly admitted. Hopefully, she's doing good. But Lily, how's things going with you? Are you hoping for a Valentine Hoover, or gonna feel relieved if you don't get one? But definitely don't let that hit your self-esteem if you don't get one, because um, it has nothing to do with us. A lot of times that it means that we have strong boundaries. So good for you guys if you don't get that Hoover. It doesn't mean that you weren't worth it. It means, uh, that you know your self-worth, that you can't be used like that or abused. So I hope Mia got your message too. um, yeah. I do you know she gets the posts, the community posts that I put up? Let me know how many of you guys are getting those. That would be helpful to me. Debbie says I sent him a Valentine's gift, but I didn't use my name. He now will have 48 condoms. I don't know. Is it? Do you sent him? Did you? I'm so confused. I don't buy condoms. Not that I don't use them, but I don't buy them. There's a 48 pack of condoms. You gotta tell me, Debbie. Was that you sent them anonymously? And was that this year? Yeah, and too much, Debbie. Were they extra small? Oh, interesting. Yeah, gosh. Yeah. Oh gosh. You got me stumped. Um, and sometimes we have to think about why we do certain things. 'Cause you spent your money, girl. Kalibi says Debbie should have poked a small hole. Ooh. Now we remember that us women trust on those. So, not that he's a good guy, but we don't know who he's with. So to Calibri. um, yeah, because that's not, well, I mean, it would hurt him, but it could be a blessing too. Maybe he does want a kid and he's just being forced to wear one, otherwise the girl won't sleep with him. Never know. But I know you're joking, Kaliri. And then that's one thing too, though, in all seriousness. Um, you know, take care of your own sexual health because people do that. If the guy wants a baby, he could, purposely weaken his condom by keeping it on in his pocket for way too long, overheated, and poke holes in it and make it out of date so it starts to disintegrate a little bit. Debbie says he and I are just friends. He should get them today or tomorrow. My daughter-in-law works at Planned her. Oh, they were free. They don't say Planned Parenthood on them, do they? Otherwise, he might put two and two together. But now this is what confuses me, Debbie. So, uh, your narcissist you haven't talked to in 8 months, correct? And this person that you're just friends with is, okay, so it doesn't say Planned Parenthood. So you're still friends with your narcissist, but you said that you went no contact, so I'm a little confused. Sometimes too, we're like, can we still be friends? And, whatever works for you guys, as long as it works for you. But we want to stay away from the toxicity. But we also want to be honest about, do they care about us? That are we putting time into the people that we should be putting time into? So you got me confused, Debbie, but that's kind of funny. Kalibi says, or maybe smeared some crazy glue. Oh, on the inside, not the outside. Girl power, keep us safe. Ow, it's water soluble. Crazy glue is water soluble. So, um, but yeah, if the water can't get through to it, then that's not good. On each one. We need that for our nails. We're not wasting our crazy glue. um, Calivri's vindictive today. um, you guys crack me up. But as far as being vindictive, I know you're just joking around, Calivri, but you know, if we do try to seek revenge, that be careful on that because it's not going to bring us happiness. It's not going to make us whole again. It's possibly going to give us some remorse of why did I act like that? Why did I do that? Also, some things are criminal that we want to do vindictively, even just like stalking, things like that, or popping a tire, scratching a car with keys. So be careful not to do that kind of stuff. Kalibi says, just my narky side. Do I have that? We all do. A little bit. A little bit. And it's a survival technique. Sometimes people laugh things off, and how they say your thoughts become your words. And we have to be careful each step forward. We have to be careful that somewhere along the way, Calibri, something went through your head like, oh, that would have been a good, it could be just today, but maybe somewhere in the past, you're like, yeah, motherfucker deserves that. And since you said it, you got to be careful it doesn't go to the next side of action, that we take control over our thoughts. But we can't be all uptight all the time either. Debbie says, I am on no contact. He doesn't need my supply. I'm tired of playing his game. I'm still on the trauma bond, which is over the top. Those condoms are all different colors and are very crazy looking. Really? From Planned Parenthood? You get fancy ones? They have like the French ticklers and all that crazy stuff. Man, it's almost like they have all that stuff. They're encouraging the sex. With the condom, I know. So yeah, as far as the trauma bond is over the top. And sometimes people ask, how long is it going to take? So Debbie's been doing this 8 months, and it's still saying this trauma bond is over the top. And we'll talk about that in 1 second. John says crazy glue can be strengthened by putting starch or baking soda on the joint. Really? And I think Crazy Bond has a certain one-way type of bond where it's really strong one way, but the other way, I think it only has a one-way bond instead of like a four-way bond. Calibri says it's good to just release my frustrations that I am aware is not good to act on. Yeah, there's things that we know that we shouldn't do, you know. Um, so feel free. We have quite a few people in here, so feel free to interact, comment as you would like, because I'm pretty good at dealing with different situations at the same time. So feel free to join in. But Debbie, as far as the trauma bond, that takes a while. And, just getting rid of the narcissist doesn't get rid of our pain, because we have parts of our brain that, depending on the depth of the abuse, that it's killed some of our brain cells, and it can be quite painful to re-stimulate the connection. And when we have our brain fog, where all these different things are going on, and sometimes we don't even know what it is that we're upset about. Are we lonely? Are we missing the person? We try to figure it out, but since we don't have the right kind of information, we had to either go off of assumptions, or, did he love me? He said he did, then he said he never did. And we're like, did he love me? And we're going through all these thoughts in our head. We don't even know what we're processing. If we were with somebody who was always toxic to us, and they're like, I never loved you. You're like, duh, I can tell. You never called me back. You hit me all the time. You did this, you did that. But with that love bombing stage, the intermittent reinforcement caused that Stockholm syndrome. So the withdrawal is just like the withdrawal with cocaine, as far as the intensity of the withdrawal. And sometimes people don't want to go through that withdrawal. Same with drug addicts, they don't want to go through that withdrawal. It's too painful. And without knowing exactly the answers that we need, it's kind of like, if you think about it, when you start a business, you just go in it blind, where you're like, I think I got to pay taxes. And oh, wait, what do you mean it's quarterly taxes? Or wait, what? I need renter's insurance. And you're like, I didn't know this. I didn't know this. And so, your business is going to start to fail. You don't have enough information to come out on top. So same with healing. If we don't have the right kind of information, we might not be as aware of, like, oh, I've got to be careful not to overeat, or I might be more impulsive. So I have to make sure, not to just have impulsive sex. I have to, protect myself. It might hurt me more in the long run. And, um, so we got all these things going on in our head, and our heart is connected to our brain. It's interesting how people can die from broken heart syndrome. That is a real thing. And um, that's how connected it can be. So the pain is intense and confusing too. Sometimes there's different ailments that we can get, upset stomach, we can be sleep deprived, and we have been isolated. So at this time, we're struggling for a connection, and we need a connection so bad during this time that we're sometimes searching, wanting it from our abuser. And I know in Debbie's situation that you're like, you know, I don't want to deal with his game. It's interesting to say that you said he's still your friend though, but you don't want to talk to him. Um, so if you could expand on that, if you're comfortable with that, because you do say you're friends, is that just cordial, or are you true friends? So, Basil, good to have you. Greetings to you too and the whole chat group. Good to have you. Lily says we have a runner. Oh, I have one in my art class. We have a runner kid at school, and a runner is one who just likes to take off. They don't stay in the classroom. And yeah, mine likes to leave the school. Uh, and we can't touch them. We can't grab them to come back. So you got to be very careful with that. Thank God I'm not his therapist. All day, the principal, behavior intervention, and 2 cops chasing him. They should just call the parents to get him awful. Yep. And how old is he? Mine is 6. My runner is 6. We had an after school meeting that I was just talking about how we were talking about his brain and the agitations on what causes him to go off. He gets very violent. The other boy is highly intelligent, and um, he's very talented, but he just gets something in his head. And uh, it's interesting to see different techniques. Not all the techniques work all the time. You got to change them sometimes. Either they can be consistent and good, or they wear off in time. So we're changing. That's what we did today, changing the intervention, the techniques that we use. So, different techniques that we can use. We can use some different techniques. The positive affirmation. You guys, thank you for that thumbs up. Lily saying hi to Basil. So, yeah, this is what gets really scary is, we're legally responsible for a lot of stuff. We can face jail time and stuff. So yeah, it's really nerve wracking when you have kids. We're taking on some risks because there are certain instincts. If a kid's about to get hit, you want to pull it away from the other kid attacking it, and we just have to let it play out. We have to do our best verbally, and um, sometimes good intentions can cause somebody possibly to run away more, or to agitate them. Everybody has different triggers, so the triggers aren't always going to be the same. I know our behavior interventionist, I can't really do it quite on the screen, but put her hand kind of like, like, hey, like, how, I can't do it with my arms are too long, but just kind of like back off. She didn't say anything, but it's just, we'll just put like a hand, kind of like calm down. And he got really upset with that. Felt like he was being told what to do just by a simple arm movement. And I was like, whoa. So Lily saying hi to Basil. Basil says, my love for watches is growing daily as I learn more about them. It distracts my mind from negativity and brightens my heart. And watches are pretty neat. Do you like the digital, or you like the geared ones? It's neat to watch the gears going. And Basil says hi to Lily. Oh, I got another thumbs up. Thank you, thank you. So with the trauma bond though, just like that kid at school, that he gets so agitated that the brain starts going, that a distraction helps. So when we start getting down and out, that we fill our cup. So we're not in that one state of mind. We might be using a different state to balance it. Um, you know, that's why physical activity and calming techniques, and, give yourself some security. Give yourself, like, every um, Friday, I'm going to have coffee with my friend, or Calibri says again, the teaching institution should take a look at their teaching curriculum to include studies of narcissism to prevent or curve out possible personality disorder. So I believe there's 10 uh, personality disorders that uh, should be looked at. Also, things like autism, Asperger's, trying to understand. Now, there's a difference between the neurodivergent. Um, some people struggle to understand and others don't care to. There's a difference between struggling to understand and not caring to. Um, and the narcissists, they definitely don't care to, you know. John says, making coffee. Hey, Basil. I made some coffee, but it's way in the kitchen. I had my health class. I told you I'm teaching health to the middle school online. They didn't show up again. High dollar. I'm getting paid. I don't know what happened. There's only 4 more classes. So I don't know why we should shower. And that just tells you too, though, like the health class, I think what's going on is, I was supposed to have 22 and 48 kids between 2 half-hour classes. So like, what is that, 70 kids or something. That they don't care about the health. I don't know if there's something with the school, but I think the kids are just supposed to sign in and they just don't. And that's our 5th and 6th graders. Like, they don't care. I don't care about my health. And if they don't care about their physical health, their mental health is going to suffer too. They go hand in hand, you know. And we have to remember too, when we do self negative talk, it can affect us. And just like if you told a heavy person, you're so fat, you're flabby, you got cellulite, you need to lose weight. It's not like they go, oh, you're right. I need to work out and I'm going to start eating. It's going to cause a depression in them. They're going to focus on the flaws instead of, you know, um, uplifting them, making them feel good about themselves, pointing out the positives. It falls into place that, they start feeling, pretty in some way, or creative, or their worth is in their kindness, that it just gives them a feeling of self-worth. And when you have a feeling of self-worth, you're less likely to overeat. And it's just a weird, it's like the reverse thinking, that's why working on our self-esteem is really important. So 11K. Lily says, my brother-in-law is a watch fanatic. He spends 11,000 on watches. The things on your I think I spend 20. He's a doctor and can afford it. Wow. 11,000. Would you like a car or a watch? A watch. Oh my gosh. Calibri says again, the teaching institution. Yeah, they need to do something with understanding the human mind. John's I tried balancing on the skates, looking good. They work great. Yeah, your tripod skates. Have you thought of a name? You should market those. It'd be kind of cool if you could make them seriously into like girl skates, where they look like high heel skates. And I gotta be politically correct, gender neutral, whatever you want to call it. But that'd be kind of neat. High heel skates. They make your feet look smaller. Basil says, I like ones with higher complexions. I like digital ones too, but mostly dressy pieces with precious metals. There's some fancy ones out there. I know my uncle had a Rolex when he died. He died in a plane crash. He was one of 4 Ford executives in a small plane, and that's how they identified him. That and dental work. So yeah, Rolex watches survive a plane crash, and I believe there was, yeah, he was badly burnt. We couldn't see him without his watch. Isn't that interesting? John says, I saw on YouTube they've developed a tiny working 3D printer, pocket sized. I was amazed how it works. Those are neat. Those are real neat. And what's cool is people are making prosthetics, fake arms and legs. Debbie says, I'll tell you whatever you want. But he and I were friends for 7 years and we talked a few times a month. And I'd see him, but we were just friends. Then last February, I developed a deeper feeling for him. And was he a narcissist? Because sometimes too, we're like, this is just too, it's just too painful to be in love with someone or wanting someone that we're like, this isn't working. So sometimes it's healthy uh, to break it off. But if you developed a trauma bond, it was probably he wasn't being honest with you. Kind of like, we'll see what happens. Let's just go out to the movies. We'll see. And you're real pretty, but I'm just not ready. And it's like keeping you in that hope cycle. And that can be exhausting, and he could have said, look, I'm just not ready, you know. And Melissa is here saying hi to everyone. And John says, what should I call them? Any suggestions? I don't know. We got to think. I'm not sure. I'll have to think on that, John. Basil says, I wouldn't consider $11,000 extravagant, but it's definitely on the higher end. Yeah, I know there's there's got to be some like 500,000. But with my budget. So, um, you went, I don't know. I know there are people, you hear what people pay for purses and shoes and, yeah, even just like houses out in California, these little shacks that are $750,000 is way different than where I live. You're like, oh my gosh, like here that would be like a $20,000 house. Average house here is, I don't know, it's 150 to 250 for a good house, not you know over extravagant. So Lily says, Debbie, did you see red flags or narc tendencies when you were friends? Yeah, because a lot of times in hindsight, we can be like, yeah, they did kind of tell us I'm not emotionally available, and we were still hoping, um, or leading us on, and that can cause that trauma bond. John says the space agency is constructing a rocket using a giant printer. Oh my gosh. Debbie says, but 2 months into it, I saw red flags and I knew there was something not right. He kept telling me that he's sorry for leading me on. Bullshit. He knew what he was doing. So now 1 year of this, I hate it. Yeah. And because I think like you'll just get over it. All I gotta do is say I'm sorry. Um, you know, he did know what he was doing. And what kind of excuses was he telling you? And like I said, you did say you're willing to talk, but if it ever gets too uncomfortable, that you don't have to tell me things, because that's that future faking. The leading you on is that future faking that we talk about, and they don't realize how damaging that can be. We get our hopes up, then they're crashed, and we get our hopes up, and then they're crashed. And that's what causes that trauma bond because it's intermittent. Kalibi says this narc guy, now ex-friend, is so self-worshipping about his endowment. He loved to be told he is really large. Yeah. I see that too a lot too. It's like that is their who they are. if they have a big wanker. um, that, and I'm sure that's what you mean, but um, you hear it all the time, that's your pickup line. It's like, dude, like, I don't need this something the size of, I don't even know, a pillow. Like, um, yeah, and they're that's where you get all those dick pics and bragging about it and talking about it. And John says, "Hey, Melissa, Lily, so you fell for him, Debbie. Oh well, unfall if he's a cruel narc." Um, yeah, Lily says it like it is. She, her and I are a lot alike, and we just talk different. She'll say it exactly how it is. Mahogany, good to have you here. Hello to everyone. She says, Debbie, I'm a survivor of sexual abuse. I can talk about anything. Yeah, me too. Me too. And, sometimes what doesn't kill us makes us stronger, but other times it causes us to run and hide. So that's good that you're a survivor of it, that you've processed it, and realizing the sexual abuse isn't our fault, um, can help us heal. John says, hey, Mahogany, with all the love kisses. Mahogany says, hello, John, with some love back. Melissa, most of my ex-boyfriends were narcissists. So this is a thing that we have to do. We have to look at ourselves. Why do we attract these kind of people? So I know some of you were saying that you're super empaths, and that's where I fell in, that we try too hard to help people, that we overlook ourselves. And in the process of doing it, we start being taken for granted. We hear the, oh, thank you, you're so sweet. And we're like, oh, I made their day. And, which is nice, we're not necessarily giving to necessarily get back. But just like right now, let's say I have $200 in my purse and I give each of you $10. So I feel good. Here's $10, here's $10. I got 10 of you and I still got 100 for myself. And I'm okay. I can get gas for the week and maybe a Diet Pepsi. But if I'm just giving and giving and giving and not getting back, I end up with nothing, and it becomes a detriment. In the beginning, it doesn't become a detriment. I can give you guys some food. You want to come over for some sandwiches? I can give to an extent. But when I start hurting myself, that it crumbles me. That's why on the airplanes, they always tell you, uh, put your mask on first so you can take care of others. Because once we're debilitated or empty, that you know we are rendered somewhat helpless, and we become childlike in the dependency stage. And that's why we latch on, and we have a hard time processing things. Narcissists can be helpers. If you're talking about, yeah, they'll do things, sometimes it's an ego stroke, like, oh, um, you did such a great job, or sometimes there's ulterior motives, and it's just that they're toxic. And there's some that seem really evil, and some that just destroy the lives because of the lies and the self-serving entitlement and the confusion. So I because of their lack of empathy, there's going to be times that they take too much, and it shows that the relationship was a lie. Like you were thinking that there's a possibility, and they didn't plan on doing that. Calibri says narcs could see good people, good, no boundaries, lots of patience, forgiving and generous, so they take advantage of the situation. You're right, and that's when it starts to hurt. Where if you knew I needed gas money, but you give me this sob story, and so I'm like, Okay, I guess I'll walk to work. And then I break my leg, so now I can't get to work. And if I only had my car, I could survive. But things happen to us too. So, oh, John says, okay, my hamster is sick. Trying my best for her. Yeah. How old is she? And Mahogany says, sorry to hear that, John. I pray it gets better. And Lily says, hope April gets better. I picked up my cat Maggie's ashes and locks of hair. Ooh, locks of hair and paw print. Heart on the heart. Yeah. I know we're talking about spreading my dad's ashes. We were talking about that this weekend. Um, Debbie says, he would say that I wasn't what he is looking for. So, in other words, I'm not a slut, you mean? I said, I don't hold back and I don't beat around the bush. And that's the thing. Sometimes we have to realize they just want a play toy, and we have to realize we're worth more than that. And if we get with them, it's lowering our self esteem that we accept, that we're just going to be a toy, and um, you do speak it like it is. And I know a lot of guys, and there's girls too, that they don't want the commitment. And um, sometimes people get into a relationship, change their mind, they end up leading you on because they don't want to take accountability and be truthful. Are we able to change our mind if we start a relationship? We are. But the least hurtful way is to let the other person know, because often what happens is the other person continues to invest in that relationship, whether it's through hope or mental time, to where you're like, should I make a new meal, or should I work out, or should I do this, or, I was going to think about taking a job. Do I take this job and move away from this person? Like, if I'm going to, and they just don't communicate, and it gets exhausting because we're trying to figure out the best thing to do. And they're not investing like that. And they're not even communicating. Without communication, there is no relationship. So I love that you don't beat around the bush. And that's the thing. That's if he was a narcissist, that's what he doesn't like. He doesn't want to be told things other than he's amazing. Um and this is where it gets tricky, though, is if you are constantly saying, um you're so sweet, or um you're the best lover, whatever kind of things, they're like not feeling it. So if they don't feel that they're nice, or they don't feel sorry, certain things because of whatever insecurity, it's going to cause them not to believe you. And they're going to start having some resentment, or they're just going to tune it out, like, whatever, I've heard that before. Yep. No, 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 you're so sweet. No, 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 no. Lily says, I didn't always say it like it is, but as I got older, I got better at communicating. And I told you too, with one of mine, is I had to say, what was the words? Effective communication, please. Just 3 words. Effective communication, please. Because it got to the point where it's like, if you're like, look, it's really bothering me. I'm just trying to communicate. I love you. And if we could just see eye to eye, I just want you to see my perspective. And it's like, they'll tune that out. You have to be concise with them, just like we had to be concise with the kids. And otherwise, it's overload. They don't like that overload. We're thinking, I'm explaining everything because I don't know why you're not getting it. But the more we explain, the less they understand. And also, when we hold up our boundaries, it's like they don't like that either. They just want to live their own life. And Kalibu says it took almost 20 years to convince this supposed to be friend to accept his gayness. He is not committed to be in a relationship and just wanted the benefits. So Calibri, This gets a little confusing. What do you think would have happened if you didn't convince him to accept his gayness? That uh, do you think he ever would have done that? Because some people do have fantasies. Was he ever into women? Is he bisexual? Um, because being in the closet is safe. And were you trying to get him to express his gayness? Because people should be able to know. I don't know. That's hard. Um, that that's not me. I'm trying to understand it. I can only do it from my perspective. That it would probably be really hard to tell people, but I would think. Uh, I don't know. I'm not there. Um, he is not committed to be in a relationship. Did you date or play with him? Was he a fun buddy? And sometimes too that they might be scared to tell the world. It's getting more accepted by people where you see more gay and lesbian families or couples, but a lot of people, we just want to be loved. And, if he got love from another guy, but had to tell people about it, he might miss out on love from the world, which is really sad that, you know, John says April's condition is terminal. She's not going to make it much longer. And Lily says, sorry, John, so sad. Yeah, John's so kind to his animals too. But I bet you kept her around a lot longer than she would have been. So take that to heart that she's been blessed by being with you. Kalibi says, now I know. I know it doesn't make it easier though. Kalibi says, now I know I dealt with the narc. I saw all the red flags on him. Lacks empathy, lies, no belief in our creator. And yeah, as far as religion, they don't want to give themselves, you know, we do have free will, but religion gives you some guidelines and they don't like the guidelines. Just like with us, they don't like our boundaries. Melissa says narcissists try to make others to be like them. And they cause people to be like them. I don't think they necessarily want somebody to. It's interesting. They could like you being narcissistic to other people. They don't want you to do it to them, So if you're like, yeah, I blew them off, or they might encourage you, just blow them off. But they don't like it on themselves. So Lily says, sorry to John. I do too. Lily says, agree, Melissa. They are not open-minded, that people are different. And that's a good thing, because like I said, I talked to one of mine and he was like, what are you talking about? I don't understand what you're talking about. I was trying to tell him about the YouTube channel, how, seeing different perspectives and the communication. He's like, what? Like, I don't get it. He's so intelligent and nope, doesn't get it. They don't have that connection to the empathy to understand it. It's kind of like, get over it. It's a relationship that didn't work out. Like, what's the big deal? Just move on. And they literally mean that. They just see things differently. And Lily says that she agrees. Melissa says, I've been praying for you guys. And, prayer is extremely powerful. And, everybody here, I'm not sure what people believe, but I hope you guys connect with your higher power, whether it's the universe or God, because it's a fascinating world. And I was thinking about that today too. Just I saw so stupid. I saw a boy and girl both walking to the bathroom, and I'm like, there's just two types of people, male and female. Whether you guys intermingle, I'm not talking about actual sexual stuff, but they're two different people. and how diverse, but there's, well, I guess sometimes, yeah, things go wrong. What's it called, Aphrodite, or what is the word? I lost the word. I don't. Hermaphrodite. Hermaphrodite. Um, ooh, Basil, I want to get to that. Hold on, let me scroll up. Basil, you're coming up soon. Um, do I believe that most people who are too wealthy are narcs, like people who are close to being billionaires with more than $500 million? I don't know. I'll date one and tell you. um, they they become entitled a lot of times. Not all, not all. But it's easy to get accustomed uh, to um, fall into that trap. Like, I'll just pay VIP, whatever, and then I get in. I don't have to worry about the other people standing in line. Um, and then it starts to feel good. Like, whoa, I got free drinks just because they know I got a high credit limit, and they start taking advantage of that, going back to those places, and they start to feel like a prince or a princess, king or queen, and they just change. Like, their dopamine hits. It becomes addictive. People are drawn to them, so they're never without people. Sometimes too, that they can start to resent the people that adore them or want to be with them. They can develop paranoia, which sometimes might be true. um, that people are just wanting them for their money. So even kind-hearted people, they might start dismissing. um, so it can change people, and often they want to be the life of the party. Now they can afford to be, and they might start doing different party favors, little things like that, and falling down that rabbit hole. So yeah, they can be. They might start lacking empathy. They might become hoarders, not wanting to share, um, counting every penny. Like, we go out for pizza, I'll pick it up this time. We went to Pizza Hut, it's $30. We go to a different restaurant. This time it was $27 and you paid. And it's like, I'm sick of being the one who always pays more. And you're like, those kind of things. Debbie says, he always told me how I made him laugh. And when I'd call, he said, you are just what I needed. Makes no sense now with this overwhelming silent treatment. Now I'll give him his. He was a nice guy. And that's the thing is, it's mind boggling sometimes. You're like, what? Like, we got along. That's what mine. We never fought. Laughed, and the sex was amazing, and the love bombing, and you're like, what? And they'll encourage you to continue on with this like invisible relationship, popping in and out here and there, silent treatment, text you back, don't text you back, and it's just not consistent, and that starts changing us. So you went silent. I went the opposite. I way overreached, way over explained myself. Like, I'm so sorry. I didn't, but he made me think he was dead when we were talking about this future, and I was out of state, and couldn't, I didn't have enough drive time to leave my job and get back to it. And oh gosh. Yep. And do you think he's ever going to reach out to you, Debbie? Is he seeing somebody else? And it doesn't matter. You got to think too, it doesn't matter. I ask questions sometimes that it's just only if you have knowledge. Don't go trying to see, because it's better not to stalk them or things like that. And also too, there's something shady going on if you can only contact him through an app. So remember that if you can only reach out to your person through an app, it's either a catfish or and a catfish is like liar, just an arc. Somebody not representing themselves truly. Kalibi says, I've been watching videos on narcs doing the download to get supplies from other men. Are we talking BJ download or being quiet about things. You're talking about down low, like, on the down low. I don't know if there's some, like, slang terms I'm not aware of. Uh, and you probably mean both. Um, and when you say that, you say men on men, which I'm assuming you mean, but there there too, they can offer money and get people who aren't even necessarily interested in, would that be a phrase, crossing the rainbow? Is I know rainbow is kinda a symbol going from one side to the other. Uh, just a thought, I don't know where the rainbow comes from. Um, Basil says, "Oh, I just heard that. Sorry for that, John." Yeah, so hopefully, every last moment is just beautiful with her and that she's comfortable, you know? Um, and our bodies, and I wouldn't doubt it if animal bodies do it too. Our bodies actually go through certain processes. So if you have somebody who is in hospice, sorry guys, I've been talking all day. Um, so if you have somebody who's going through hospice at home or things like that in the dying stages, that sometimes we feel like that if they're doing NPO, which is nothing by mouth, per os means mouth, um, that we're like whole, like we have an os, like our cervix has, anyways, but nothing by mouth. Um, or no water, no fluids like that. That it's not abuse to the elderly. It's part of the shutting down process, and it's actually more comfortable. It's very interesting on the processes that our body goes through to protect us. Just like when I was a burn victim, my brain shut down for a little bit. And I think I told you guys I remembered when you see stars, what that was. Uh, if you've ever gotten dizzy, that's your white blood cells. So when you see stars, if you get hit in the head or get dizzy, that's white blood cells that you see crossing past your eyes. Uh, yeah, it is confusing, but sometimes I stay away because that they want. They feel a pressure. They feel this just the energy. It's so crazy how the energy works that they feel a pressure. Even we're like, look, I really like you, but okay, we'll just chill. We'll just have dinner tonight. Just pizza, whatever. But they feel that pressure, an unspoken energy shift. And I was talking. Did I ever tell you guys? You got to tell me before I tell the story. The McMuffin. I didn't tell you the McMuffin sausage biscuity thing, did I? It's very important that I tell you. Kalibi says I've been watching videos. Okay, so um, tell me more about that, Kalibi. Basso says, gosh, Lily says ex-narc would go to sleep early, so if he got up later and saw me watching TV on the couch after all my mom duties, he'd snarl and say, "Really hateful, why are you still up?" Like I should be on his clock. Did he say it hateful? Not like, "Oh, why are you still up?" Uh, yeah, and that's the thing, it can their tone sometimes too can be painful because we're, "Oh, why are you still up?" As opposed to, why are you still up? Like, what's wrong with you?" They will make you feel like something's wrong with you. And that causes us to question ourselves. And when we constantly question ourselves, we're in a state where we got to find an answer. And our narcissist seems to give us the answer over time that we start believing it. Basil says the narcs feel that they are second to God, and sometimes, ooh, I got to finish your statement. And sometimes they believe they are equal to God in terms of religiosity. Religiosity. Um, yeah, they become their own God, the narrative of their own story, and anything that doesn't fit, they shut it out, and that becomes their truth. And uh, they will manipulate till they get what they want. So they want to, I don't know, a Lamborghini, they can, and girls can do it too, but I'm a female, like marry some guy, and, purposely go after like old guys that are going to die, um, take over their inheritance and do it, guy by guy by guy, or get pregnant and have all this child support, year after year having babies. And, they can create whatever narrative they want, you know. That's why some people, they want to be famous. They sleep to the top. They, um, you know, uh, you can see that as was that a sacrifice to give up their body. Um, they had control over it. They did it to manipulate. Uh, Sometimes two people can be manipulated that way too, that their desires are so strong. It gets confusing on how that goes. Debbie says, because there's low self esteem and entitlement, there's differences. How do I want to word that? Because a narcissist also has low self esteem. And that's the thing, regardless of what the mental illness is, low self esteem will cause havoc in your life. I'm going to say it again. Low self esteem will cause havoc in your life. Um, it's the root of either giving or receiving abuse. And sometimes, with the narcissist, we came in there with good self-esteem, but we let our boundaries be broken because we trusted them. It's crazy because we think they're going to change, but they don't change. That's the problem. We don't expect them to be perfect, but it goes through a morphation. Is that a word? I think I've created a couple words throughout this last year. Morphation, where it morphosizes. Just morphs. I think it's supposed to be just morphs. um, Man, I like creating words. So it just morphs into a negative relationship instead of morphing into a positive. Leela says, "Oh, okay." And John says, "I appreciate everyone's support." And that's what's so nice about this channel. We have a great channel. I love how we interact. And Debbie says, "John, I'm so sorry you are going through this." And continues, "The funny thing is, he doesn't have me blocked. He's aware that I'm coming into money from probate. Narcs love money. Ooh, be careful. That Hoover is coming. Even if it's just like, hey, you want to go to a concert? And uh, does he seem shady that way as far as money? Um, a lot are shady. Others are too prideful, that, they, they won't take money. Especially since he's male. I don't know if he will take it. A lot of men feel like they're the provider, or uh, women can be into money too. But society is, putting pressure on women for looks and men for money a little bit more. Hope that makes sense. Well, wishing you luck on your finances. I don't know how large your probate stuff is going to be, but protect your assets. Maybe talk to a lawyer or get things in trust funds, whatever it is. I don't know enough about that, but make sure that you are protected because people are going to come out of the woodworks. So Kalibi says narcs could smell money. That's why I see these critters when I got my car. Gave me these shallow appreciations of my car. Yeah. And I'm very happy for you though. Debbie says, normally he has money. He got fired from his job last May. Ah. So I know you said, Lily, I'm sorry I missed that, Lily. Debbie, what happened that made it go no contact? Perfect. Um, Debbie says, calling him out, the fact that I know so much about narcs. Sorry, I think I missed that one. Hold on, guys. How many is more the question, Debbie says. I'm not sure what that's in reference to. Let me know how many more is the question because I'd like to answer it. Um, But if you notice that a lot of us have pretty much the same pain type stories, and our pain is caused from the future faking, the lies, and the confusion, the word salad. And we get into such a state that it starts. That's how many women he must have. Okay, yeah, and yeah, sometimes that harem garage, they talk about that they there's one self-aware narcissist who was like, I just got jealous of my friend having this pretty girl, and I wanted to show him I could like one up him. I could steal his girl, so he did it just to steal the girl, didn't even really want the girl. um Sometimes it's just not that they like the girl, but the girl is seen as beautiful, or a cheerleader or a pageant princess or whatever. That it's not for who they are. You see band groupies sleeping with people for bragging rights. Um, that they feel the need to brag about being with a rock star or whatever, because they're trying to find people to be in awe of them, so that it's not they're thinking that so and so wanted to be with me. um I must be special. But if you think about it, um how special are you, for 15 minutes? But yeah, the more the merrier is supply, you know and Debbie says, my biggest problem is I fell for him and I do love him, and oh, he knows it. But narcs want someone to love them. Yes. They and that's the best way to put it. How I keep saying they're in that emotional state of a child. The child wants to be taken care of. The child wants to be um tucked in and snuggled and taken places. And um there are some good-hearted children that, but they're not thinking of what they'll do, little sweet things, here and there. But Debbie should say want. Yeah. I'm a teacher. I can read code, and I know like spell check or sometimes autocorrect, and then also typing fast. Um, it's funny the way kids spell today. Yeah. Uh, Kalibi says, or should I say, bought things to just show off. However, they don't know how to operate them. Yeah, they'll buy things and never use them. I got a motorcycle. I've never ridden it. Just so they can keep up with the Joneses. Not even that they want to use it. Um, or some power tool. You know, yeah. John says, I once got new sneakers and shoes last year and saw the narcs jealousy. Yep, and they'll do it. You got something new and something new and shiny. Um, Shoes are a big thing. Shoes are a big thing. A lot of people put status onto them, that if you don't have this kind of brand, you know, whatever, don't look through my closet. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not into designer stuff too much. I like having it, if I can get a good deal, but I don't ever like flaunt it. Like if I get whatever brand, I don't even know what brand's cool. Sometimes I just end up with it. Like, oh, I'm like, that's a cool one. Um, you're getting ooh, Debbie, I'm getting a couple 100,000, and I know he's thinking that he's entitled. That chance. Yes. Um, Good for you. Good for you. And invest wisely, and invest in a house with a pool so I can come over, meet you in person. That's what I'm hoping for. Yeah, watch your back, watch your back. And it'd be interesting too if he wants to start dating then, because he might want to marry into it and stick it out for a year or two or three, and Be careful on that. With him, prenup with him. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm moving around too much, Lily. Thank you for telling me. Uh, I think I got to move this a little bit. That might help too. Thank you for telling me. Yeah, always tell me, guys, if I'm irritating you. Um, does he live where you are or a long distance relationship? Lily is asking. Uh, and Lily is being very patient with me. Thank you for telling me though, because people will tune out if I click too much. Kalibi says, "Oh, they get jealous at anything they see you bought, even though the narcs have enough." Yeah, they're never. Nothing is ever enough. So, um, they always have to one up you. My dog's snoring. Debbie says he's about 10 minutes away from me. And where's your heart now? Is your heart still kind of longing for him, or it's not good? Because I think you know that. Lily says, "Yeah, fat chance. Don't tell him your business, Debbie." Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Oh, Debbie says, "My mistake." So he already knows how much, correct? Lily said, "He said it so hateful and mean like or mean looking, that you ignored him." Um, yeah, be careful what he knows. I wouldn't even tell him when you get it. Uh, he doesn't, and you're not talking to him, but a lot of times too, they can tell. There was somebody somewhere around town. I don't know who it was. It was a story from one of the teachers that there was like, can't remember, Mega Millions or who knows, they won a lot of money. But all of a sudden they, start upgrading and each kid got a brand new high dollar car. And we're like, yeah, we think that's who it was in town who won the money because it was just, they started spending it, you know. John says, these people, the narc showed extreme jealousy because I am good at invention ideas. And yeah, they see you uh, having a passion. They see you achieving things. It's something they don't have. They don't have that creative flair or the drive to put it together. They might have some cool thoughts. So Debbie says, "Do I want to sleep with Satan?" Is the real question. Yeah, and when we sleep with people, we do develop a soul tie. So be careful who you sleep with because your thoughts are going to go back to them. Um, you know, uh, like the rapes I had, you go back to that every now and then. Boyfriends, whatever, you go back to that every now and then, even if it's once every 20 years. That soul tie is there. So it's evil, you know. And you know, there are people you can look back and, you know, uh, have an appreciation for it. They aren't always evil people if you break up, but the narcissist is toxic. Yeah, John says these people. Yep. Lily, yeah, don't. Move on. Go on a cruise. When we this is a thing, Lily. I think we should invite her to our cruise. I want to do a cruise. I was talking about once I hit 5,000 subscribers that we were going to do some kind of meet and greet, and I thought about a cruise. So it would just be an option if Debbie would like to come. Yeah, but go on a cruise, enjoy it. Invest wisely. um, Debbie says it's on Wisconsin CCAP. I don't know what that means. CCAP, CCAP, CCAP. CPAP is a breathing machine for sleep apnea. Um, I don't know what that means. Kalibi says narcs don't want to show appreciation of our passions, like my passion of cooking. The narc told me she's allergic of soy sauce. She knows that I cook Asian food. I know my brother, uh, he turned away the Thai food that I'm not crazy about Thai, but my sister brought a bunch of Thai food, and it could be allergic to soy, and there's also gluten, in the soy sauce sometimes. So, uh, that's one thing to consider. At least I think there's at least soy. Is she allergic to soy? So she could be. She could be. Um, I'm not I love soy sauce. I put soy sauce on my spaghetti. We talked about that. Has anybody tried that? Soy sauce on your spaghetti? My spaghetti always looks almost black. It's so good. It's like black soup spaghetti. Also, it's good on noodles, just noodles and soy sauce. I love that. Sometimes I put salt on top of it too. Told you guys I have low blood pressure, so I need the extra salt. And yeah, Lily, I think she'll tell us what Wisconsin CCAP is. Debbie says it means he can look on the court system. To see how is it public knowledge? Because probate's after somebody dies. Is that why? Or I believe it's after somebody dies. I know it's when they hold it. Um, I've always heard it after somebody died. I don't know if it's any other way. If it like failed business, I don't know if that would go to probate. Basil says my dogs can't start barking as soon as I'm not there. Oh gosh, it's not good. They love you too much. Um, Kalibi says, maybe give them something to connect with, like an animal. I don't know. Um, or like a T-shirt of yours, something for them to snuggle up to. I did with that with Dixie do when I went to China, but yeah, she still whined and looked for me all the time. Oh, but she always snuggled there when I was out of town. Cleve says that's why I haven't invited them to any of my dinners because of soy sauce. Invite me, but they do get jealous of passions, or that you're not catering to their exact likes. Like I told you I wanted lasagna, and you made spaghetti, and you're like, that's close enough, you know. But you have to be with them 24 hours a day. Ooh, um, how old are they? Is it somehow start training them, that otherwise, yeah, there's a need to break that. I'll have to do some dog psychology. I'm not a trainer. Oh, where's Dog Defender? When Dog Defender gets in here, she's really good about training. Um, she's the one who I was talking about earlier who wasn't feeling good. So, Dog Defender will help us out. I had to break that because that's too much for you. 24 hours a day. Because you never know. Sometimes things might happen too. You don't want the animals to be stressed if you ever have to go on a business trip or whatever. Kalibri says, now I know what they are about. My doors are locked. Yep. Be careful. Lock those doors. Doesn't cost you anything. And Debbie says, yes, my brother in law died 2 years ago. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Debbie says, I hope he enjoys seeing me driving in my new Jeep I want to get. That's what I want too. What color do you want? And I don't know which one I want. What style? What did you John says, "I've tried soy sauce on different foods, very tasty." Yeah, I love soy sauce. Dassel says, "I miss my 4th dog, but I had to give him away because he can't stop urinating frequently everywhere." Yes, I had, cats that did that, when I was out of town. It was like revenge, and, I had a, uh, costume business and, too much fabric in the house and patterns, paper patterns, and yeah, had to throw out so much stuff. Um, Debbie says Black Compass. It has great reviews. A compass. Dang it, where's my pen? Um, I must have taken it. Oh, dang it. And my coat's in the other room. I gotta take a picture of it. Let me take Black Compass. Man, I was so good. I was always prepared with my pen, but I have a habit of keeping them in keeping them in my hand. And Same with coffee mugs. Are you guys I have okay. Um, you have 2 female Jack Russell Terriers and a Pomeranian Chihuahua mix breed. I love them to death. Aw. Oh, how cute. That's nice. So, I know Calibri has a new car, and, I don't even I don't even know. I wanna get a kayak and put a kayak. Would either one of those be good? You have a big Chihuahua mix. Oh, I have a Dixie Doo. I think she's German Shepherd Beagle. Not quite sure what she is, but so Valentine's Day, what you guys wanna do a 7:30 PM Eastern Standard Time tomorrow? Kinda be each other's love. Um, because I don't want anybody getting depressed during that time. But we were talking about moving forward. Moving forward is raising our self-esteem and, you know, maybe make something special for yourself. We have like recipes that we've been going back and forth with. Pamper yourself, take a candlelight dinner or a bath. Go to the health club or if you want to go to the movies by yourself, but if that's going to depress you, don't do it. But if it's going to make you happy, do it. um there's or maybe 8 o'clock tomorrow, something like that, Eastern Standard Time. Debbie says my daughter and I have coonhound collie mix. Got him in Illinois at a rescue shelter. He's amazing. Wouldn't that be wild if that was Dog Defenders Rescue Shelter? He's amazing. I took it for a test drive. It's great. Very roomy for Marty McFly and his fur. Basil says animals give me lots of hope in life. Yes, and they do. They, they can comfort us. Pigeons too. Um, Pigeons, uh, as far as how so? Um, I I comforted a pigeon and it died. Um, and I'm not saying I'm just curious why you brought up pigeons. Uh, you two, 3 cats and a dog and 2 angelfish. There was what was it? What was 6 oh, there was a we saw a $600 bird at the um pet store. It's just a little one. I can't remember. Looked like a lorikeet to me, but I'm not sure what it was. It was different, but similar. And then you got $35 for a canary. So what's the difference in value? You know, is there really a difference? There are some differences, but I think each and everything is so special. It's fascinating the detail. And I was watching. I teach art, and we were talking about radial symmetry, where it's like the circular, symmetrical things where kind of like kaleidoscopy kind of stuff that it's the same in the rotational form. And the pufferfish, how their mating uh, thing is, they make a radial symmetrical uh, artwork in the sand. And this little fish, how does it? I have a pufferfish upstairs. You guys want to see my pufferfish? Um, that it's fascinating. Their mating ritual, and it's interesting. Not so much that one does it, but that is what they do. The consistency. Where does that consistency to do this instinctual thing come from? Um, Instincts. I want to do a talk on instincts. But guys, I'm gonna. Basil says because I feel like white pigeons are the most angelic bird ever, and I was wondering because I was like doves or pigeons because it was because there's carrier pigeons. And I think about the Bible. It was a dove with the leaf, but carrier pigeons are amazing. Like, how does that work? you know? And they return, you know? I don't know, have I ever seen a white pigeon? I might have. I've seen white and gray. I know, when I went to college, the university in Detroit, there's a lot of pigeons there. Basil says, oh, I'm sorry, we had kissing, uh, is it gourami? I don't know if it's gourami, but I think it would be gourami. Yeah, it's gourami. I think so. John, so do I. Debbie says. So, you know, um, just popped. The the actions we take in healing, um, can lead us to a healthier life. And if you're feeling like you're not attracting people, um, that there's some changes, some shifts that we can do to keep people within our vicinity. Um, I missed mine about Marty, about the Marty McFly and his fur. Oh, about Marty. Okay. Bassel says, yeah, it's hard. Um, took it for a test drive. Did do do the doors come off on yours? I hear that's kind of difficult. Bassel says there's different types of them that look different from each other, but very beautiful. Kissing gourami fish. I'm not sure if I've seen those. Lots of different shapes, sizes, and colors, personalities too. And yeah, the animals, it's really neat. Now, um, it's interesting in the animal world, like animals don't usually attack if they're full. Okay. So our narcissist is similar to that, that's when they go on the attack, when they're low on supply. And I'm not talking about just the food. I'm talking about sex or money or status, that they're kind of vicious, in a sense, that it's a demanding and not letting us live our lives too, and no compromises. The hardest part, I think, is the future faking and the lies. Um, the So no doors come off, and I'm assuming there's no comma there, like, "Nope, the doors do come off." I think you're saying no doors come off. So, that's easier. A lot easier. My daughter has a Jeep, and she's like, "Mom, uh, it it's difficult to take the doors off." So, she's like, "You probably wouldn't want it." Plus, is there a lot of legroom? Because I know you said it was roomy, but I'm 6'1". Is there legroom? Because I was told they might not be come I don't know, but so Lily says, "Don't think I've ever seen a white one. I love all animals." And Basil says, "Mike Tyson loves pigeons." Huh. That's a famous boxer for us. Lily says, "I wanna do a cruise too." We can set that up. That is doable for me to get a cruise together. Um, so when I get 5,000 subscribers, we will do that. Lily says, "I took Mike Tyson's deposition years ago." Oh, I was a court reporter. He tried flirting with me. Ooh, what was he in court for? Debbie says, get that trauma bond anytime and anywhere. How do narcs do that? Yes, there is legroom, and you can stick your head. It says through the moonroof. You can stick my head through the moonroof. Is that what it was? Did I read it correctly? Um, or you could stick your head through the moonroof. That's what you wrote. I knew you did. Um, China has the most ducks, one of my favorite pets. Well, they serve duck too. So, um, do they have the most ducks though? Yes. See? I told you I was a teacher. I can figure things out. Doesn't have to make sense. I'll figure it out. Um, Look at all these stories though. We're getting to know each other better. That Lily took Mike Tyson's deposition, um, and thought she was sexy. Um, and uh, crazy. And as far as Duck, my ex, my first narcissist, made it's pretty decent. This rice dish with little meat chunks, and didn't tell me it was duck. And he was like, "Did you like that?" And I was like, "It was okay, a little greasy, but." And he kind of giggled. He's like, "It was duck," and they trick you into eating things that they know you probably won't. So, uh, it it was decent. It was decent. It but mentally, I did that too with frogs. I didn't mean to eat frog legs. That I was at this, buffet when we were out camping. It was a big, huge rainstorm, so my dad took us out to eat, with my mom and kids, to a buffet, and I'm just chowing away on these fried chicken legs that were really little, and I had 15 or 16, and afterwards, I was like, "Those frog legs, I'll tell you what, frog legs are good. I will never eat them again. They were really good. I will never eat them." But, you know, it's kinda like, I think he should have told me what he was putting in the food. I don't know. How do you guys feel about that? Is that narcissistic or is that, uh Debbie says, "I've said so much stuff to the narc that I've never said to any man. I'm kinda afraid to face him." Um, as far as, like, how deep your love was, that's holding you back, or what do you mean that, you're afraid to face him? Oh, like, bad stuff? Like, "You motherfucker, like, how the fuck could you do that to me?" Like that? In an angry tone? Angry, hurt tone? Um, so the angry and also you were with him is what you were saying? The things you did were kinda unique is what you're saying, I think? Um Yeah, and narcissists will sometimes, get you to do things against your beliefs, whether it's, like anal or bondage or kinky things. Just know who you are, do what you guys wanna do, but, be comfortable with it and don't be, manipulated into it. And, know yourself too, what your weaknesses are. Like, if they're like, "Oh, they touched my neck. Now I can't say no." That you just don't put yourself in that situation. Debbie says, "No, he always told me it's perfectly natural to talk about sex." No, okay, just talk. Um, yeah, I agree with Lily. There's nothing wrong with that. I have a male friend and, you know, we've discussed things, not not flirting with each other. Sometimes that's how we learn too, you know. But when we like someone and it's not the same with them, sometimes we get uncomfortable, like, he knows everything. Um, so what caused him to stop? You think he just felt pressure? But he's an arc. I see what you're saying, yeah. Yeah, being, feeling vulnerable because they know they have a weapon against you now. They can say something or, um, yeah, depending on what your story was, but or even just, yeah, she likes this, why don't you go get her? Um, Misleading people to use her, you know. Um, Basil says, "I ate frog legs and snails too. That's pretty much the weirdest 2 foods I ever ate." Snails. Ooh, did you like the snails? Frog legs were good. I'll never eat them again, ever. Uh, so then forget him. Lily just says, "Me." I'm like, "I understand." Like, yeah, and it's hard though. It is hard. Um because I get it, Debbie. Lily's straightforward. Yeah, just do it. Easier said than done. Because a lot of us are here because of that trauma bond, because they're constantly in our mind, because for a long time they were in our mind and became uh, uh like habitual thoughts. Um, they were stuck in our head because we're trying to figure out what the frick they said, or why they haven't shown up when they promised. Or I gave the example of my grandmother. When my grandmother was passing away, um she stayed in the dining room. So we made like a bedroom for her on the first floor, and every day after school I would go and I would talk to her and I would sit with her and I would ask about her. How's grandma doing? And it was a routine, and it was a hard routine. I knew she was gone, I knew grandma died, but I still wanted to say, how's grandma today? And it's like, oh, why am I doing this? Um it's our mind hasn't made that connection in a sense. It we have to push it together, um, and that takes effort. It's not really in denial, um, but the connection wasn't made yet. I guess if that makes sense. Like I knew, but it was a pattern, and to get out of that pattern of thinking, worrying. I was worrying about grandma, and um we can become addicted to people. Like I was addicted to making sure grandma was okay. We can get addicted to certain things. Debbie says, I called him out. One day I said, stop gaslighting me. And he's like, what? I said, I don't remember what I said. And okay. Yeah. A lot of times too, they don't remember what they say. I'm not quite sure. I think you're saying he said, I told you I don't remember what I said. Yeah. And a lot of times they don't. A lot of times they honestly don't. And it gets frustrating. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they believe it. But it causes a connection in us because it doesn't feel right. Their lies soothe them so it feels right. And that's why it's easier for them to let that go, or they feel a connection because they got a thrill out of getting one over on you. Usually the ones there's like two different some that set with them, and some that fly away. Um, or rather don't aggravate yourself over him. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, Lily's saying, you know, uh in a sense, don't take it so hard. Don't let them get to you. Don't let them live rent free in your head. And Lily says, I think it's a 50-50, Basil. Basil says, our children of narcs most likely to become narcs when they become fully grown adults. Depends on their outside support system. Maybe grandma's fantastic and can help guide them, um, give them the love that they need, or uh, there's so many factors. Depends on how harsh the narcissists are too, to where the balance is. Um, but I don't know what the statistics would be, but it would be very high, very high. Probably at least 50-50, if not more. Um, they would be more likely. They would either pick up the traits for the grandiose, like how to get away with things, and then, the vulnerable will throw their little fits and stuff. I wish I knew what the statistics would be, but high likelihood, unless they had some overcome it because they had great teachers or they had great grandparents or a great daycare or babysitter, um, basketball coach, whatever, that they had some love that they needed. Basil says burgundy escargot or, oh, that's right, that is escargot, isn't it? Duh. Or snails are a delicacy in French cuisine, and I ate a lot of them. Surprisingly flavorful and packed with protein. Oh, basil. I forgot. Yeah, it's like a delicacy too. Here, I forgot escargot. You're right. Oh, uh, John says I just fed April hamster. She's very weak, so I moved her to her pet carrier with her food dishes and a comfy place to rest. I don't want her to pass away alone, sleeping with her tonight. Aw. Lily says she feels the love, John. And she does. John says, thanks, Lily. She is having a hard time. She fell down her ramp last night, and it's difficult for her to get out of her house. She's on my lap. And Lily's like, yeah, it is sad to see our animals slow down, but it's that cycle of life. Um, and with our lives, there's cycles in our lives. We have some happiness and down times and um oh, John says I have tears coming. It's so hard for me to see her this way. Is her breathing labored? I'm sorry, John. John really does take really good care, loving care, not even just putting the food out, like he loves his animals. Lots of hugs to you. Lily says heart wrenching. So I'm sorry you've kind of had it tough lately. Lost several animals. Debbie says court is March 1st. I know why he hasn't blocked me. It's a Zoom hearing. This lawsuit is only supposed to last 6 months. I saw him at his house 2 months ago. He said, "Go, leave, get out of here." Oh, he's done. Yeah, rude. Huh? And a little bit, yes. Yeah, John. Um, so the narcissist will say things like that because they feel you are slipping away. So they will be the first to discard. Like, how dare you leave me? Um, what caused him to say that? What caused him to say, go leave, get out of here? Um, a lot of times, they can feel when we're like, I just wanted to talk about something. And they're like, oh, this is that talk. I'm going to, you know, Um, they see things in different perspectives, and you guys are so sweet with those thumbs up. Um, Now, John, April is one that you found in a bunch of yarn, correct? Wow. But Debbie, I wish you lots of luck with that. Definitely wishing you a good outcome on that. So before I go, if, I know John's having a hard time. I think, John, maybe you should just snuggle with her, spend some time. Uh, and tomorrow, you guys never answered me, you narcissists. So those narc tendencies. I'm just teasing. Did you guys want to get together tomorrow night? I'll have to see what time. Like somewhere around 7:38, because I'm going to bed early. Plus, my lips are getting really, really dry. It's starting to flip because when I talk, my lips out. No, mice a few years ago. Oh, you bought her at Petco in 2021. Aw, okay. Oh, it was mice, not him. Yeah, I know there's a difference, sorry. I just pictured them snuggled up. I'm sorry for that. Uh, Debbie says, "My daughter's boyfriend is taking us out to dinner at 7." Ooh, we'll definitely enjoy that. Yeah, so, yeah, if you guys have plans, do not cancel your plans to be here with me. I just thought it might be nice, um, to kinda say hey. So lots of love to you guys. John, I will see you tomorrow. And lots of love to you guys. So everybody who is here, feel free to share any topic requests that you would like. And I missed one. What did I miss? I try to be good. What did I miss? I missed one. Oh, I didn't want to get into it with him. I think that's the one. I'm trying but it's hard getting better though. You didn't want to get into it with him. Sorry about that. Uh, yeah, and since you didn't wanna get into it, he probably felt that you were abandoning him. I'm thinking that's what you're talking about. Oh, down? What? Oh, down from that. I might not have it. I got the, court, and then your daughter's boyfriend's taking you out at 7. I missed one. You didn't wanna get into it with him, so it might not be showing up. I'm trying hard. It's getting better though, but you said down. It's not showing on my side. You might have to retype it. I don't know why that John, you had it before where some of your below John. About your boyfriend? Daughter's boyfriend taking you out to dinner? I saw that one. Um, John's hold on. Yeah, you might have to type I'm not seeing it. Retype and I'll tell you if it's there. Um, below John, I don't see it. So John says, "Have a good night's sleep, everyone. Thanks for everyone's support. Take care, Cynthia. You too, John. Thanks for being here." And lots of love. Leela says, "During the ear biting." Oh, a word I've never seen. Oh, Hollyfield. Oh, Hollyfield. Hollyfield. Isn't it Holly? Holyfield? Um, fight. A cop said Tyson Hol- Holyfield. I'm trying to remember. I know who you're talking about though. A cop said Tyson took a left hook at him, so cop was suing him. Holyfield. I think it's um Tyson took a left hook at him, so cop was suing him. Was stupid. Don't know the outcome. Oh, you don't know the outcome. Oh my gosh. So, I remember that. I don't know the outcome either. I think that's crossing my mind. Tastes like chicken. Haha. His ear? Are we talking about the escargot or are we talking about the ear? Here's one of our recipes. Yeah. Now, he did take a chunk out of the ear too, right? He didn't just bite it. He took a chunk out from what I remember. Oh, that's just terrible. Um, So I'm gonna log off, but I was hoping to Debbie to tell me what I missed because I do see your daughter's boyfriend is taking you out to dinner at 7, and below John, I'm not seeing which one you were talking about, but well, guys, we're getting closer to that 5,000 subscribers, so we will have to start planning a cruise or get together somehow. And also that green screen should be on its way for some more unique videos. It's above Lily. I see below John and above Lily. It's not show wait. Oh, I'm not seeing it. Does it Lily, can you see her comment? I'm not seeing it. It's not coming through. I do see that it says it's above Lily. Uh, I'm not seeing it. I don't know why. I don't see which one I missed. Basil says, wishing you goodness and peace of mind, John. And John says, before I actually go, April Hamster wants to thank everyone. We love you, AP. You like that nickname, AP? API, AP. We'll do that. So she's got a special nickname. Right, John John? That's your nickname. Oh, I wanna know what Debbie said, but I'm not seeing it. Oh, I don't think it came through. We got court is it above or below? Um, uh, I called him out. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. No, he always told me it's perfectly oh, is that the one? Um, no, he always told me it's perfectly natural to talk about sex. No, just talk. No, I read that. I just left it. I laughed all the way home when he yelled, but he didn't block me. You yelled. You laughed. Yeah, you're like, "Okay, you're throwing your little fit." Um, yeah, yeah, there's poor communication. He's screaming, you're like, "Dude, I come on. You're not trying to connect with me, you're trying to control me." Or just throw a fit, trying he didn't know how to he yeah, poor communication, and you deserve to be yelled at. He could talk a little kinder. And if you said anything, is that normal? You shouldn't be laughing at him, but that's reactive. Sometimes we don't know how to handle it because you tuned him out and that's going to piss him off. You know, if I'm upset and you laugh at me, it doesn't go over good with me either. Um, because it's cold, and sometimes it's just your reaction. You're not trying to be cold, but you probably tuned him out. You're like, whatever. This is, he didn't see that. Uh, oh, okay. So he yelled at you, and you're like, okay, all right, having your little conversation with him, and then on the way home, you're like, whoa, that was a little mind blowing. I get it. Um, so you didn't do it in front of him. Okay. He probably still felt some of the energy from you, like a disconnect, like, dude, I'll deal with it. Or you were trying to connect with him, but um, it's normal for them to yell when they don't get their way or they get frustrated. So maybe he just didn't like the things you were saying because I don't know the whole situation, but they can get agitated. They don't know how to process what is in their mind, and they don't like the confusion or having to figure out how to relate to your feelings. Your feelings overwhelm them. Uh, so they try to avoid it at all cost. It's got to be about them. Um, so either they don't see or understand, or they don't want to take the time. Um, so it is normal. It is. John says one more thing. The skates have remote control headlights. That is neat. So you can skate at night. Debbie says my grandson said he looks old. LOL. He's 58. Yeah, but we gotta be careful. How old's your grandson? Because like the kids at my school, well, they're not good at the age. They know who looks old and who doesn't. Um, but old, sometimes they can say LOL. Does he look old to you? Does he look old to you? He's 6, yeah. And, yeah, I'll have in the same day, same classroom, one kid thinks I'm 17, another thinks I'm, like, 127. So, their perception of age but as far as what looks old, Uh, yeah, there's kids like, "Oh," like, the 4th graders, "I thought you were 35," or, some 26, or others are like, you know, a little older. So, that's sweet, though. Enjoy that grandson. He used to scream and run out of his class too. No, he looks good. Yeah. Um, aw, the little grandson used to scream and run out of his classroom. Yeah, it can be stressful for them, different situation. So, he looks good, yeah. It's a child perception, you know? Like I said, in one day, same class, 17 and 127, that's a big difference. So, alright, lots of love to you guys. I will see you soon. Have a fantastic day. Positive thoughts, go look in that mirror and tell yourself how sweet you are and that you're beautiful inside and out. Talk to you soon. Good night, guys.